Paul.
Hello again. Yeah, for number 10 today, the final one.
The final one, maybe the most spectacular, I don't know. So as we said last time, this is actually no surprise that this clause actually is on the list from top 10 major nonconformities for 2021. This will be simply about contingency plans. So I will give you the pleasure to reveal what is expected in.
Yeah. And obviously we have the base requirement 6.1.2.3, but when we review this requirement, there have been a significant number of changes introduced through sanction interpretation number 3. And that, I think, lies where some of the problems are, that organizations maybe are not as au fait as they should be with the process that IATF can change requirements through sanction interpretations. And in this requirement, if we're not up to date with the sanction interpretations, the potential is a major nonconformity because there's been so many changes that the organization contingency plan might not address a lot of the key updated requirements. So let's just have a quick look at what some of the changes are being. So obviously, one of the things that has caused customer disruption in the last couple of years is COVID-19, that organizations haven't been able to keep continuity of supply because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So one of the things that we've seen added in 6.1.2.3c is about pandemics. So how do we put the relevant contingencies in place to make sure that even though we might be people missing through COVID-19, how are we going to keep the customer fulfilled with the deliveries that they expect? So pandemics has been added, and also something that now in our technology age, cyber attacks. So cyber attacks has been added on information technology systems. So I know of some real cases where production has been stopped and failed, then the organization fails to supply the customer because of a cyber attack. So there's increased emphasis in 6.1.2.3 about having systems in place to prevent cyber attacks. So they're two of the most significant changes. And then what we see issued through sanction interpretation 17 is about doing simulations and testing of our contingency plan, which may be, for example, from a cyber perspective, doing things like penetration testing to see how robust our IT systems are about detecting potential routes in for cyber attacks. And then the final change that we have seen is about making sure that all the relevant people are trained in the contingency plan. So it's great having a document called a contingency plan, but if people don't know about it, it won't be implemented. Some organizations, I ask, where's your contingency plan? Oh, it's in our server. Well, what happens if the server goes down? Then we can't access the plan. So that's why it's really, really important that anybody involved in any aspect of contingency plans needs to be competent in knowing how to react in the situations, whether it be key equipment breakdown, whether it be labor shortages, whether it be utility interruptions, that all the relevant people know how they should react to keep continuity of supply.
True. Also, what is very important and was not said is that, of course, organizations have to periodically review contingency plan, at least annually, with including the top management also.
Absolutely, which was an original requirement, but still a lot of companies, I think, the contingency plan is a bit like control plan. It's developed by one person and not a true cross-functional approach. The way that I always look at it as well is an organization should challenge the effectiveness of their contingency plan. And the way of doing that is look at delivery performance. Have we had any interrupted supply to the customer? If we haven't, we must be doing something right. Yeah. If we've had interruptions, why? Why did our contingency plan not work? And what do we need to do to make the contingency plan more robust?
Exactly.
So the KPI and delivery performance is always a good place to look to see how effective our contingency plan is.
Also, it probably will be not surprised that the contingency plan is also on the list on the minor top 10 non-conformities for 2021.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely going up the list rather than down the list. Again, I think this is something the auditors have been told to focus on because of supply shortages, because of pandemic disruptions, because of cyber disruptions. Verify the organization has a robust, up-to-date contingency plan, taken into account the sanction interpretations.
True. Okay, so this was the last. I don't know, luckily or not, maybe that these only 10 are the top major nonconformities. I hope that there are no any other clauses behind this top 10 nonconformities. Well, I hope our discussion about this top 10 major nonconformities will help the organization to understand what could be the reason of rising that kind of nonconformity, and to avoid in their organization a situation at least to have a major nonconformity.
Yeah, I think if we go back to the goal of IATF, prevention rather than detection, let's try and work with the supply base to prevent these similar nonconformities happening by doing a lessons learned on what is going on within the global automotive industry.
Okay. Paul, it was very nice to discuss with you this top 10 nonconformities. I really enjoy it as I enjoy IATF itself. So thank you again for a new project with you. And
yeah, no, I've enjoyed the discussion, and yeah, hopefully we can meet again for future series.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you very much. Take care.
Yeah, take care. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.